What's up guys? Hope you all are doing great. Today's video is actually interesting because it's about this Polar Lights RC car from Temu. And I know that Temu gets a lot of criticism and they wanted to send me this car to kind of check out and review. So I'm going to be brutally honest. I get a lot of questions asked about, affordable or cheaper RC cars, things like that. And this kind of fits in that, price range and category. So let's go to the shop and take a look at it in depth and see what it's like underneath this body shell before we go ahead and drive it right now. All right, so we have it completely out of the box on the stand. I'm just trying to get an idea for the quality. I do, like I said, like the yellow springs, but trying to get a feel for them. I think they're not oil shocks. They're just, regular spring shocks. They don't have any sort of dampening. And with regards to the electronics, obviously it's Chinese electronics, which is not always a bad thing, because even the big brand names, they have Chinese electronics sometimes. So it's all good with that. But I'm interested to see the quality of the plastic or the plastic fiber that they use, if it's going to last. Again, it's a standard 7.4 lipo, but it's the small pack. It's not the long pack. However, which is kind of cool, is that you can remove this piece here in the middle and you can put your standard long 7.4 lipo. I'm pretty sure this is a 2S only compatible kit, but I'm gonna kind of have a look at it and read the manual. So I'll talk about something that I like. One thing that I like is the scale of this kit. It says it's an 8 scale, but it's not really an 8 scale. It's more like a 10 scale, even a 12 scale kit. And I actually like that. I don't mind that. I don't mind it being a little bit smaller than the 8 scale. It's a little bit more accessible. I like the fact that it's a 2-wheel drive kit and not a 4-wheel drive kit, because that's basically less stuff to go wrong. But again, when they're 2-wheel drive kits, usually they're more for people who are a little bit advanced in the RC world, because there's no gyros on these things, and depending on how powerful it is, which we'll find out later, we'll see how easy it is to control. And I like that it uses ball bearings, like metal bearings. That's a great thing to have always on RC cars, because a lot of companies still, hard to believe, but they still use plastic bearings. And yeah, the RC 540 motor here is supposed to be a high-speed motor. Again, we'll find that out right now once we drive it. But yeah, just from the initial look, just thinking about quality. But again, that will all be apparent once we use it. So let's get out there and give it a try. All right, back to the road here. Gonna drive it right now. One thing I will say is that the shipping was really fast on this. From the moment we agreed that I was gonna receive the RC car to the moment I got it was maybe like a day or two. And if they ship to clients at that speed, regular clients, then well done, because it was really, really quick, almost like a prime delivery. So yeah, let's get into it. The remote is fairly simple. You have your steering direction, your steering trim, and your speed trim, which is, all that you really need on a basic kit like this. So yeah, let's start the remote and start the car. And they're just, a click. It's not a switch. You just push a button and it'll turn on. Yep, simple as that. Let's So this is on your standard 2-cell lipo. will say I thought it would handle and drive a lot worse from the initial, check of the shocks, because again, I'm not really familiar with RC cars that don't really have oil shocks. Mostly hobby grade RC cars have oil shocks, and when I inspected this first, I thought it wasn't really in the hobby grade category, but it drives pretty good on tarmac, at least, despite the shock having no oil, as you can see. Look at that, you see, it's like a rebound. So yeah, despite the shocks not having any oil, it actually drives really, really nice on the road. Again, a beginner RC car, works for somebody who's never been to RC cars, just to kind of familiarize yourself with the handling and the basics of the RC car. But yeah, so far so good. Let's continue driving, see if we figure some other stuff out. Just my judging of this kit initially is that it looked more like a toy grade, not really like a hobby grade kit, but on tarmac, again, at least, it drives pretty much like a hobby RC car. I'm actually surprised that suspension with no oil in it can actually handle this good. Maybe the tires are just really good, or it's lightweight, the chassis. Also, it doesn't really behave too much like a rear-wheel drive car. It does have excellent front grip, and yeah, for what it is, it's not bad, for like a gift for a beginner, or just for someone who's getting into RC cars to familiarize themselves with the hobby. And yeah, let's check the durability in a bit. Okay, so I charged it fully, and these little battery packs, it's not unusual for it to be like that. The battery life is just not great, so on one battery pack you're not really gonna have too much runtime, especially if you're on the trigger all the time. But yeah, all in all, it's not a bad kit. Let's do an off-road run and see how well it does. I might use the ramp to see how good it jumps, but again, I don't really have too much faith in the jumps because of the no oil in the shocks. But yeah, all right, that's it for today with this 8 scale RC truck from Temu. I would give this thing probably a 6 out of 10. Would I recommend it? I'd recommend it to some people. I'd recommend it to the ones who are not looking to spend so much on RC cars, because it's definitely sitting right there in the middle between, toy grade and hobby grade. It's not fully toy grade, but it's also not quite hobby grade, so it's just pretty vague in the middle there. But I do like the plastic material. Turns out that this is something that flexes a lot. Same thing with the arms, the A-arms, things like that. It's quite, durable. So another thing that's also, not usually what you're looking for, but in this kit it is the fact that on 2-cell, it's not really a fast kit. So you're not really gonna pick up speed enough to really hit it hard somewhere unless you get it run over by a vehicle or something. But yeah, another thing is that because of the price point of this car, it is a really, really inexpensive RC car. So, you're not damaging your wallet too much. So that's where I would recommend this. Obviously, if you are looking maybe to even get started in something like this, and then once you feel like this is, easily manageable and you can handle it, things like that, then you can kind of move up to a hobby grade. So depending on where you are, I just will say it did drive a lot better than I thought it would drive when I first had a look at it. I just didn't trust, the suspension. I was questioning the quality of the plastic, things like that. But all in all, it's an okay kit. I'll say that. So yeah, that's it from me. But definitely, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It's the reason it gets a 6 out of 10 is because it is a pretty basic, like I said, RC kit, and there's nothing special about it majorly. It's just properly affordable, and that's the highlight of this thing, is that you can, you can access. And for someone who loves RC cars but isn't quite willing to pay the premium of like the big name brands, definitely having an RC car, in my opinion, that's decent is better than not having an RC car at all. And this is why this car is a 6 out of 10, and I would definitely recommend it for that reason. But definitely, it's not that I'm recommending this over another brand or something like that. I'm just saying it's better to have an RC car. If price point is an issue, if budget is an issue, then you might look into something like this, which are very, very affordable. So yeah, hope you guys have a good one. And as always, I will see you next time. Ciao.